Good evening and welcome to the Hawarden City Council meeting of Hawarden, Iowa on Wednesday, December the 10th, 2014. All present are council members and staff members and thank you for being with us tonight, and those folks that represent the Akron Hometowner and the Hawarden Independent. We'll be taking a break right after number 11, the consent agenda. We'll be taking a short restroom break and a break for some cake in regards to Cheryl, and then we'll be going into closed session, so at that time the room will be closed. Public hearing number 3A will be an opportunity to speak also on open business from the community on agenda item number 1C. The first standard agenda is the approval of the November 12th, 2014 council meeting minutes. You have those in your packets. Is there a motion for the approval of the November 12th meeting minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Larry. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Any further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, all in favor then of the approval of the council meeting minutes for November 12th?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. If you remember, we had no council meeting on the November the 26th, so the next agenda item is the claims for payment, both for November 26th and December 10. I'll start to my left with Tim for questions, please.
None, thanks.
Okay, Travis, any questions?
None, thank you.
Okay, Larry, questions for
No.
that?
No.
Monty, any questions?
No.
Okay. Hearing no questions, I'd entertain a motion for approval of both the November 26th and December 10 claims for payment.
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Those claims for payment pass 3-1. Agenda item number 1C, open business from the community. Hearing none, we'll move on to the mayor's report. As we approach the end of the 2014 year, our thanks goes out to all of those that volunteer to make Hawarden a wonderful community to live in. There are people all around volunteering their time and talents on boards, in schools, in churches, and elsewhere, all for the benefit of others. Also at the end of the year are many opportunities to shop in town and to enjoy festivities with family and friends. Please remember, too, that giving opportunities exist to the Hawarden Community Foundation, the Hawarden Regional Healthcare Foundation, and to many other local organizations. Our hopes for good blessings to everyone during the holiday season. Our sympathy goes out to the family of Dwayne Alons, who was our state representative upon his death. We received a nice thank you from Clarice, his wife. I'd like to read that at this time. The city of Hawarden sent a memorial gift for him in his memory. We received this note back from her. The Word of God is life-changing, and your memorial gift will put Bibles into many hands and His Word in many hearts. Thank you, Clarice and family. Again, our sympathies to his family for all of their sympathies there. We're grateful to our citizens and to the members of our police department that make Hawarden one of the safest communities in town. According to SafeWise, we are number 11 of the top 30 in the state of Iowa, so this is a great award for Hawarden. I'd encourage people to take advantage of the upcoming community supper, which offers good food and great fellowship. I believe it's the next supper, I believe, is next Tuesday at the Associated Church. Our city staff members are all very helpful and kind and talented in the duties that they perform for our citizens and our community. Many of our citizens get to talk with or see our staff members at the city offices or out in our town during the day. There's one staff member, though, that citizens may not talk with very often or see because her time is spent primarily in her office. Her position to our community is vital since she oversees all of the dollars coming in and going out. She works diligently on the budgets, on the grants, the audits, the incomes, and the expenses to make sure that the city of Hawarden's finances are all accounted for. She works quietly and with great determination to make sure that our city is very fiscally responsible. For the past 15 years, she has been a great team member with our city's management team. With our thanks, we would like to honor Cheryl Renz for her great performance as our city finance director. We thank her and wish for her great health and enjoyment as she retires from the city of Hawarden. And I'd like to present this to Cheryl on behalf of the city staff and myself and the council. That means you have to come forward.
Oh, shoot.
Get a picture, by the way.
Gary will be talking later about the open house that we'll be having for Cheryl that's open to the public. But we'd like to present her with this. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement after 15 years of outstanding service. Sincere gratitude for the assistance, guidance, and outstanding leadership you provided to the city of Hawarden for many years, 1999 to 2014. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time and your efforts.
Speech.
Thank you.
How many meetings, Cheryl?
I think we're done.
And again, those that wish to may stay with us as we celebrate with her right after consent agenda number 11 for a short time tonight. And then Gary will be talking about the open house in a little bit. So, anything from the council members? Hearing nothing, then I will start with staff reports, and I'd be honored to start with Cheryl.
Well, thank you. Brenda and I we've been working on training and working hard on preparing budget figures for the next fiscal year. And they're coming along.
Very good. It just never ends, does it? Gary Tucker, City Administrator, please.
Okay, thanks. First and most importantly, I would like to say thank you to Cheryl for all that she has done for this community throughout her career as its finance director. I would also like to thank her for all she has done for me personally, as we work together closely as part of the management team trying to help make Hawarden a great place to live and raise a family. She's done an amazing job of putting up with me and has seen many changes in her 15 years of service. Her dedication to detail and also her Dutch heritage has made her quite a great watchdog over our city spending. It is always difficult when a member of your work family leaves, but I am so excited for her opportunity to enjoy the fruits of her labor. Cheryl, you'll be missed, but we will still be calling on your knowledge as Brenda transitions into the position. Thank you so much for everything. In honor of Cheryl's retirement, we will be having a public open house in her honor on Monday, December 29th from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. in the community room. Please stop by to thank her and wish her well on her retirement while enjoying some refreshments. Again, that date is December 29th from 3 to 6 p.m. in the community room. As Mayor Porter mentioned earlier, we've been recognized by SafeWise as one of the 30 safest cities in the state of Iowa. Hawarden was ranked 11th overall after evaluating criteria as presented through strict reporting standards and population numbers, along with the FBI's most recent crime data. Thanks to our law enforcement staff and our community as a whole in giving people another reason to call Hawarden their home. And one last item, we have provided the council on your iPad a fiscal year 2016 budget draft of the utilities for your review. Please note that any significant changes have been highlighted for your convenience. We'll go over this section as a review at our January 14th, 2015 meeting, and we'll also provide you with a general fund draft at that meeting for your review at our January 28th, 2015 meeting. We'll also be reviewing 2015 rates and fees at the January 14th meeting for discussion and possible action. The only anticipated utility rate increase that I see that we might suggest will be cable television, and that increase is going to be primarily due to significant increases in retransmission fees from our local affiliate stations. So that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Tom Kane, please.
We did get our storm sewer intake fixed across from Northside Body Shop finally, and We had a problem finding a contractor that could do that. Our local contractors were busy, and Vandepol Construction took care of that at the end of the street project for us. Glad to see that done. Our tree pile has been cleaned up, and Monday we had a dresser full of personal papers, a door with hinges, and a steel gas tank dropped off. If anyone sees any suspicious thing going on in that area or anything being dumped there that should not be, please give us a call at city offices or give Mike a call at the police department. We have citywide cleanup twice a year for a reason, and please wait until that time or rent a dumpster if you would. Our skid steer bids came in, with Bobcat having the lowest bid. It's from Frank and Implement of Rock Valley. This was a budgeted item. The bid was $27,370.52, and the other next lowest bid was $30,500 from Case. That's all I have.
What's the life expectancy, Tom?
This one's 11 years old, and we're starting to have some problems with it, so I would say 10 years would be a good time to trade them. Some of the cities are trading them every year, and it's pretty economical for them to do that.
Thanks.
And thanks to the gentleman that stayed right onto that, onto the tree pile and just kept grinding away, so to speak.
It was a long grinding job,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
long grinding job. We thank him for his work. Hi, Mike, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Pickner, anything from you?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Echo on that side then. All right, we'll move on to other agenda items. Thank you. Agenda item number 3A, this is a public hearing on the proposed plans, specifications, forms of contract, and estimate of the cost for the electric distribution improvement project. Taking to the bids, therefore, the Phase 2 materials. I will open the public hearing at this time. Were there any comments sent to the city
Nothing.
directed in regards to these bids?
No, sir.
Anything that anyone wishes to speak in regards to the bids? Larry and I were talking earlier, it's nice to have DGR working with us and for us in regards to analyzing the bids to make sure that those specs are followed through and so forth. So, Council, we don't need to go through those bid items if you don't wish to during the public hearing. Okay. I won't then, and I will close the public hearing on the proposed plans, which leads us to Resolution 2014-39. This would be awarding the contract for the materials of the Phase 2 electric improvement project.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, then a roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2014-39.
Harvey,
Yes.
Bowder,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2014-39 passes. We're very thankful as a community that those bids came in very competitively and under the estimates that we anticipated to begin with. Be nice to have that project continue. Agenda item number 4 would be a hospital project update, please, with Mr. Jason Pullman.
Thank you. We've been extremely busy with everything that's happening in the hospital. A lot of that busyness is trying to understand what we're going to do with people's supplies when the building comes down. And so that's what the biggest preparation right now is, to try and figure out where do we put people, how do we feed people, and what do we do with sterile supplies and all those types of things to make the operational functional while we're doing the building construction project. And so a lot of energy has been going into that right now. The bids are, the plans are out for bid. The bids are due January, first week in January. I think it's January 9th. USDA is still reviewing the plans. So is the fire marshal, Iowa Fire Marshal, and We're waiting on a preliminary budget to see where it all sits out right now, and we'll know more, of course, when the bids start coming in also. So the biggest thing right now is our biggest concerns are how do we feed staff and how do we feed patients during this period of time when there's no kitchen, and then how do we sterilize instruments for our operation when the sterilizer is down. And so we have plans for that, and we're looking at plans for the dietary solution. The dietary one's probably the biggest one right now of challenge, but we'll find a solution for that too. We were just contemplating, if the tentative start date for this project is March 2nd, 2015, and if you look at that, that's only really right around 50 business days to figure this stuff all out, and you know how days go by really fast. So it's going to be a full speed ahead type of situation to get everything in order so we can start construction right around that March 2nd time frame. So any questions that the council may have?
Questions from council for Jason at this point? Any way the community, probably no way the community can basically help you with food things unless they have a facility that they're willing to rent or
Right.
use or whatever. So.
We're trying out some different options. I did reach out to the owners of Casey's for the come and go. They were initially entertaining the thought and then decided to decline. We've looked at portable trailers for kitchen and eating facilities, and so we're just trying to ratchet through different opportunities out there and trying to find the best solution for us. So.
All right, well, appreciate you giving updates to the council and staff, and this also then goes out to the public, so we appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yep.
Agenda item number 5, Hawarden Ambulance Association. I think Patrick's going to address the council tonight. Thank you for being with us.
Council members, thank you for having us in front of you again tonight. It is our hope that during the session that we'd be able to get a better understanding of the council's position on this proposal. I would like to also have the opportunity to answer any questions or provide any information that you feel that you haven't been supplied so far. I do have some information regarding the importance of this position. I don't know if the council is aware that we were recently issued a suspension of our service because of the lack of the follow-through with some of our paperwork and our reporting duties to the state. Since the last interview process and the temporary placement of the person in that position, that suspension has been rescinded because they were able to get the proper paperwork and reporting issues that they wanted to them in time. I would also like to, we would just want to be clear on any misgivings that you guys have for this position and the opportunity to address those.
Council have public questions of Patrick at this point? I, for one, certainly appreciate Kathy's work in getting that suspension lifted.
Well, we're not quite sure as a squad if it is a pay versus production issue that you guys are having, or if it is a want versus a necessity issue that you guys are having with the position. We'd like to have a chance to address those or even just get a better understanding of the position of the council. the pay versus the production, I suppose it's public knowledge that the proposed salary for this position is $38,000 a year. I'm also not sure if the council is aware that because of the situation that we're in right now, we are currently paying what amounts to about $37,000 a year for daytime coverage without any of the administrative responsibilities or the oversight or accountability responsibilities to the city. As far as a need goes, with the person in place who has been diligent at taking the time to do that, we have been able to update our South Dakota licenses, getting all of our medical personnel licensed in South Dakota, as well as the suspension notice taken care of, with other compliancy issues, with miscommunication issues between our billing company and the state, reporting between the two. Also with getting the proper amount of supplies that we need to get our cost under control, so we only buy what we need instead of just somebody putting in an order and it being done, whether they know if we have them supplies or not. Those are all the things that the director would be able to, somebody who has time to focus on that, would be able to take care of for the ambulance squad. I believe it would be a cost benefit in the long run. I believe our costs would go down, our operating costs would go down. I also believe that our recruitment would be more successful than it has been in the recent future or recent past. I'm also not sure if the council is aware that 2 years ago we had 17 EMTs and 12 drivers on the squad. Currently, right now, we have 7 EMTs and 5 drivers. It's becoming a problem to get coverage for 24/7 coverage. We are required, the city of Hawarden is the owner of the license for the ambulance, and they are in agreement with the Iowa Department of Public Health that as the owners of that license, they will provide 24/7 emergency medical coverage. And right now, we're in jeopardy of not having that. I don't know how big of a liability issue for the city that is, but I'm sure it's a liability issue. I know that, or I was told that you guys were provided in your package an updated and comprehensive job description for the position.
Yes, we were. Yep.
And if, I don't know if you guys want to see it or not, but I do have an accounting of the administrative hours spent over a week for your guys to review if you would like.
Sure, that'd be fine.
I have copies for each of the members.
So do you have any idea how we're going to get some more volunteers to the staff?
We have a tentative plan for recruitment. We want to do some community-based connection projects to get the word out there that we need volunteers. We have a Facebook page for the Ambulance Association, and we have approximately 305 followers on our Facebook page, and we have posted on our Facebook page that we're looking for volunteers, and we posted our mission statement on the Facebook page. We also would want to do some community drives, being involved with the community in some of the just making more of a presence on the community, approaching the high school, doing maybe a student transition like the fire department does. Those are just some of the ideas that we've started to implement.
I want to just thank the people that are still volunteering. I know we lost a couple more volunteers in the last month, but it's really appreciated. I don't know what we can do to help, but I know the fire department's got the same problem, that especially during the daytime, to find somebody to answer the call.
We haven't missed any calls yet. We have not. We've had an average of 15 calls, 15-day calls a month over the last couple months. But just last week only, we had 14 calls. And there was a time when we were called out 3 times within a 2.5-hour period, and we didn't miss any of them.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Any thoughts or comments from the council members this evening for Patrick and the ambulance group as we keep moving forward? At our last meeting, we took a vote, and the vote at that point was 2-2. Will there be any changes to that vote at this meeting?
Mayor, I would make a motion that we go ahead and hire the ambulance director as proposed.
There's been a motion by Larry,
I'll second it.
seconded by Tim. I believe last time I aired and had just a voice vote. I should have a roll call vote.
Maybe they want to discuss first.
Okay. Discussion for the motion.
Well, I think we should follow through. I mean, back in July, we said we wanted to hire somebody, and we've got a qualified candidate for doing it. We should do it. We need it. Whether we go down the road later on and have them go off as a 501c or whatever, that would be nice, so they could take care of their whole membership and everything on themselves. But until that point, I think we need a ambulance director.
We can't go along without them. We got to respect these people for all they do for us. I would hope we could pass this.
Any other comments from council before I call for the vote? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote then for the motion for director.
Kurth,
Aye?
Olson,
No.
Bowder,
Aye.
Harvey,
No.
At this point, that motion fails. Stalemate. We'll continue conversations with the ambulance personnel.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Patrick, thank you. Next standard agenda item would be an appointment of the representative and alternate to the Northwest Iowa Solid Waste Agency. At this point, we would like to make the appointment of Tom Kane, I believe. And second,
Larry's the alternate,
alternate would
yeah.
be Larry. Is there a motion for that appointment?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the appointment to the Northwest Iowa Solid Waste Agency, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. With the proposed building process at the Hawarden Regional Healthcare, we need to propose to vacate the alley east of the existing hospital and transfer the ownership to the Hawarden Regional Healthcare. Jim, would you walk us through that, please?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. It came to our attention that that alley would need to be closed for this project. And at the time that it came up anyway, I was looking for the quickest way that we could do it. And the quickest way is a resolution where you vacate it and vest the ownership in the adjoining owners. So that this resolution that you have before you, that's the resolution that would do that. Alternatives are, vacating it through an ordinance process. It would take 3 readings, going through a proposed, proposal to dispose of it, advertising it, and then ultimately acting again on the proposed disposal and transferring it. And in that case, it would not necessarily have to vest in the adjoining owners. Now, you do have to advertise before that, so this resolution's not, here to be voted on. Something that came up, and I know Jason, is he still here? Yeah, Jason. Something that came up, the hospital is an agency of the city, but you can see from my resolution, we have the hospital is owned by the city of Hawarden. That real estate is in the name of the city of Hawarden. And then we have a couple of lots up there that are in the name of, I think, Hawarden Regional Healthcare, and then we have a couple more lots that are in the name of Hawarden Hospital, I believe. City of Hawarden, Hawarden Hospital. So we got 3 different, Hawarden Community Hospital. That's the name. So, we got kind of some name issues. A discussion that came up was, well, would the city transfer all of this property into the name of Hawarden Regional Healthcare? I kind of asked if that was necessary, and I don't think I really got an answer that it was, or anything. The issue that's kind of gray about that, and I don't know where the council feels or where you've come down on it, but in our ordinance talking about the hospital board itself can take property in, and then it's able to dispose of that property. So there's some question if you decided to, for instance, do a deed to Hawarden Regional Healthcare, that would that or would that not from then on need your consent to dispose of the hospital. So, that's kind of an issue there, and how comfortable you would be with that. And they perhaps wouldn't have to go through any procedures like we do to dispose of property. Like I say, it's gray. I can't really tell you absolutely for sure, but that's the issue. Now, if we just do this, what we're proposing here, what will happen is that the west half of that alley is going to vest in the city of Hawarden, and up on the north end where we own lots on both sides, then the whole alley is going to vest in the city of Hawarden. Hawarden Regional Healthcare and the hospital will get the south 2/3, the east part of the south 2/3. Then they, I think, are going to get theirs all probably under the name of Hawarden Regional Healthcare. So, it's nothing that stops the project. I just wanted to get it on here, so I had guidance of what you wanted me to do. And if you are okay with doing this the way I've got it set out here, they'll wind up owning part of that alley. We'll not wind up owning part of that alley, city of Hawarden. And, of course, it will not be there for the public use any longer. It'll be a closed, vacated alley. You could always come back and look at the idea of putting it into the Hawarden Regional Healthcare name at a later date if you wanted to. So, all I'm asking for is which direction do we go?
The easiest.
Okay, that's, I think, this
that we've got here. So what we probably would do then is advertise and come back at the next meeting and put this resolution in front of you.
Sounds good.
And from the easement point of view, from utilities or anything like that, no difficulties?
Tom can speak, but I think they've all are being moved or have been moved.
We're in the process, and in the spring, we'll probably move the gas and finish off with the electric and communications.
Okay.
Get those out of the way. We were going to have to do some moving of the utilities anyway, so some of it.
Everyone in agreement with that? Dissent with that? Okay.
Jim, do you know what the publishing requirements are as far as timeline?
One publication, and I think it's that
Is it 420?
720 or
720?
yeah. I'll double check it tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks for your work with that, Jim. Next agenda item number 8 would be Resolution 2014-40. This would be a resolution providing for the special election of the City of Hawarden Council, person to fill vacancy created by resignation. At our last meeting, council was unanimous in putting this out to a vote to the citizenry. According to those folks in Orange City, the first possible election date would be Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2014.
15.
Excuse me, 15. So they're in on the resolution that is mismarked. So those folks that will be interested in that will be able to get papers out.
As soon as this resolution is filed with the auditor, once it's approved and filed with the auditor, then papers can be taken out.
Okay.
That's my understanding, at least.
Okay. And so with that correction on Resolution 2014-40, where it says the special election to be held on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2015. Okay.
Are we sure that Tuesday's
Yes.
March the 3rd in 2015? Are we sure that's the correct date?
That's what they gave us from the auditors.
Just don't have to come back and do it again.
Should be 2015.
So we have a 15
First
calendar?
date they would give us, so.
Is there a motion for Resolution 2014-40?
So moved.
Moved by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, a roll call vote for Resolution 2014-40.
Bowder,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Harvey.
4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2014-40 passes. Agenda item number 9, discussion regarding desire to sell the property located at 1950 Avenue E, also known as the Sioux Motel property. Historically, we gained property of that, tore down the Sioux Motel. There's a person that's interested in getting that property, and so we need to have some discussion on how to sell it, bid it out, or if we wish to sell it. This individual has approached the city in putting up storage units there, my understanding. So first of all, I guess we discuss if we're wishing to dispose of that property, and how would you like that to be completed? Is it of any use to the city of Hawarden at this point?
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
then it would be for,
Parking for the Calliope Village.
okay,
And I think, what's the zones, R2 or residential 2, I think? or
Zone
something.
B2, or B1, excuse me, B1.
Zone B1?
That's where it's supposed to be something in a neighborhood business, or
Yeah, that's a,
not I mean, if I had a house, I didn't like motel there, and I don't think I'd want to have a house looking at storage units either, when we've got so many other places where we could put them. Got lots of property in the industrial park. I wouldn't like that.
Other comments in regard to that piece of property? Lonnie, Larry, Travis? Anything you'd like to say?
How much of that lot is ours?
I'm sorry, Doc.
How much of that lot is ours?
If you look at the map up there on the screen, you can see we own the north half
Right.
of that
So
block.
they could do whatever they want to do with the south half, because we've got no control.
They still own that, yeah. That individual out in New York, I think, owns that property. And we own the north half plus that alley. It looks like a 20-foot alley through there, so. But the balance would be available, may be available from that other individual as well, so.
Any direction we wish to give to staff?
I don't believe we need storage units on our main thoroughfares. I believe there's other property available in town.
Just so I'm clear, though, do you have an interest in selling it if the right type of use comes along, or you prefer to just hang on to it, just in case somebody else comes in? It's just nice to know if you have an interest or not, and if it would
Anytime
be.
anybody wants to build a house in town, it's certainly,
Well, we probably wouldn't want a house built on that, but
I'm just saying that that's one of the things that residential use for new houses, if somebody had their heart set on, I could see, but not storage units right there.
Right now, it's zone B1 commercial, so it's, yeah.
we couldn't put a residence on there.
Oh, I thought that other map that showed the zoning, I thought it was R2. or
R2
something.
behind it, it's R2,
To the alley, isn't it?
yeah, through the alley, yeah, on the other side of the alley, but our property's all B1. On the east half of the highway, or the east section of the highway, it's B1, on the west half, it's B2.
Well, we can fix that in one meeting. We've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could we just take it case by case as people ask?
That's entirely up
We're
to
going
you.
to sell that lot or we're not. I'm not going to sit here in judgment about what we're going to do, what he's going to do with it. Either the property is for sale or the property is not for sale.
Yeah, if it meets zoning requirements,
Yes.
that's
So,
the question I
I'm
have
not going to
of it.
sit here and decide which offer is worthwhile. Set a price. If somebody wants it for that price, it's theirs.
Yeah. I just don't want to mislead somebody, if you don't have an interest in selling or something. So I just so there's some clarity, would be helpful to me.
That's my opinion.
Okay. So,
Well, I don't want to sell it just to anything, so I do want to decide on what use would be rather than just letting, it's the same with that other properties that we've decided we didn't want to sell. Want to try to make the city a little prettier.
Larry or Travis?
No, don't sell it.
Larry, any thoughts?
We probably need to hang on to it for parking for Kelly Hope.
That's all I'd
Thank
like
you.
to make.
Just that way I
General
know.
Conversation is not, is to
Okay.
hold it for Calliope usage at this point, so,
Thanks.
thank you very much. Agenda item number 10, Union County Public Works request for consideration of a cost-sharing automated river gauging stations from the 2014 floods. They've been now proactive in regards to getting some stages located. One happens to be now in the Big Sioux River north of Hawarden, and they're requesting some financial assistance if we would like to help with that. And Gary's brought up on the big screen exactly what those show, so maybe you can walk us through that, please.
This is the provisional data station at Akron. And I'm assuming this is what we will see at Hawarden as well, but it's all electronic, and it does have the precipitation totals for rain indexes up to 30 days. It also then has the gauge height, river depth, and this is a cubic feet per second, and then some daily discharge statistics, but that's available to anybody at any time, 24/7 on the web. And I'm not finding the Hawarden one yet, so I'm assuming it's not hooked up as yet. There's a building out there, but I'm assuming that they don't have any data available at this point, or at least it's not on the web for the USGS website. But that's what it would look like, and if that's of any value to you. But it does provide a lot of good information regarding the river. But
would it be obviously of value to us?
I mean, I think there's some value, but how much, I'm not sure. At one time, Tom and I did some research looking into it, because we knew that Akron had one, and we had visited with them about putting one in Hawarden, and the numbers that were shown in that letter from Union County were exactly what pretty much what was told to us as to what it was going to cost us on an annual basis, and we just didn't think that would be that we would get that much value out of it, so we didn't pursue it any further. But you know, there's probably some value. I'm just not sure monetarily what that would be, and whether you want to share, because they're going to do it anyway. But
My understanding from this request, it's just pretty much of a one-time request. They're not asking us to continue to assist in the yearly partnering of the annual costs, or?
Pardon me. At this time, there's no cost to us, and what they're asking for is just some type of a gentleman's agreement or some kind of contribution, and that could be probably one time, or it could be contribute. They have to pay an annual fee, so I'm sure they would take whatever you would give, but if you would want to give anything, but they're planning to do it regardless of what the city is going to do. This is kind of an after the fact letter. So
Is this on city land or?
no, it's actually on the state. The building is located on the South Dakota side of the river, but
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Do we partner with Union County in other regards? We partner with them in fire contractual types of things, don't we?
Townships, we work with both school and the city work with the townships over there.
Is there an interest from Hawarden City Council to give any type of monetary assistance to this project for Union County? Good neighborly, you give them $2,500, or give them nothing, or thank them for putting them up and helping the flood projects, or anything, any thoughts?
This is basically to give them a warning if the flood is coming to their property, or is that, I mean, in theory, then what we should have is something up by Canton or something, right?
And there are some further north.
Okay.
Sioux Falls, I'm not sure if Canton has an electronic one or not. I don't believe so. I think the nearest one is just on this side of Sioux Falls, is the next closest on the Big Sioux, which is on the wrong side of the rock, unfortunately. But this is definitely useful in the time of flood. I mean, there's no doubt that we would be able to track very closely.
Do we have anything in a budget to give them?
Nothing specific to that, no.
No, but I'm just saying, that do we have funds that if we chose to give them? Like,
If you decide to pay it, we can always find, I mean, That's your
It
decision.
has a slush fund.
Yeah, there's a slush fund. I mean, it's always your decision to spend money, and we can always find it, but
Any interest in this? Not hearing much, so we'll move on. Okay. Next agenda item is a consent agenda. This would be a request from the Hawarden Golf Club for liquor license transfer to the Hawarden Community Center, both on Wednesday, December the 31st, and then on Saturday, January 10th.
So moved.
And motion by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Larry. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 4-0. Next, we're going to take a short break. We will come back in open session, but then we'll be asking for a roll call vote to be going into closed session. So we'll take a about 10-minute break here at this point. Thank you.